Welcome to Speak English Podcast.
Hey there, English learners! Welcome back to Speak English Podcast. I'm David, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Sarah. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Thanks, David. I'm doing fantastic and so excited about today's episode. We have something really special that's going to blow your mind and change how you practice English forever.
You know what? I love that energy. And speaking of energy, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you understand English perfectly, but freeze up when it's time to speak?
Oh my goodness, yes. That used to happen to me all the time. But here's the crazy part. What if I told you there's a secret method that lets you become fluent without any conversation partner?
That's exactly right. Today we're revealing a technique that thousands of advanced speakers use to train their brains. It's called solo practice, and it's absolutely game-changing.
Before we dive into this incredible method, we need a huge favor from you. If you're ready to finally break through your speaking barriers, smash that like button right now.
And if you're serious about English fluency, hit subscribe and ring that bell. We share practical methods like this every single week, and you don't want to miss out on any of them.
Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll have a complete system to practice advanced English speaking skills right from your bedroom. So let's jump in and get started.
The technique we're sharing today is called Mental English Rehearsal, and it's based on how professional athletes and performers train their minds. Just like a basketball player visualizes their perfect shot before taking it, you can train your brain to speak English fluently by creating detailed mental conversations.
This isn't about memorizing phrases or repeating after audio recordings. Mental English rehearsal means having complete conversations in your head, responding to imaginary situations, and building neural pathways that make real speaking feel natural and automatic. The key is making these mental conversations incredibly realistic.
The beautiful thing about this method is that it removes all the pressure and fear that comes with real conversations. You become your own practice partner, your own teacher, and your own biggest supporter all at the same time. There's no judgment, no embarrassment, just pure focused practice.
Think about it this way. When you dream at night, your brain creates entire scenarios that feel completely real while you're experiencing them. Mental English rehearsal uses that same powerful ability of your mind, but you're doing it consciously and with a specific purpose to improve your speaking skills.
What makes this technique so effective is that your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you practice conversations mentally with enough detail and emotion, your brain builds the same neural connections as if you were having actual conversations.
Professional speakers, actors, and even successful business people use this exact method to prepare for important presentations and meetings. They rehearse not just what they'll say, but how they'll say it, how they'll feel, and how they'll respond to different reactions from their audience.
The amazing part is that you can practice any situation you want, any time you want. Stuck in traffic? Practice ordering food at a restaurant. Waiting in line? Rehearse asking for a raise at work. Walking in the park? Have an imaginary conversation about your favorite hobbies with a new friend.
Unlike traditional speaking practice methods, mental English rehearsal doesn't require any equipment, apps, or other people. You can do it while lying in bed, taking a shower, or even during your lunch break. It's the most flexible and accessible way to improve your English speaking skills that exists.
What's really fascinating is that this method also improves your listening skills because you're imagining different voices, accents, and speaking styles in your mental conversations. Your brain becomes more flexible and adaptable to various English speakers, which makes real conversations much easier to follow and participate in.
The best part about mental English rehearsal is that it builds genuine confidence from the inside out. Instead of just hoping you'll do well in conversations, you'll know you can handle them because you've already practiced similar situations dozens of times in your mind with complete success and natural flow.
Let me show you exactly how mental English rehearsal works by demonstrating a real scenario. Right now, I'm going to walk you through a mental conversation about meeting someone new at a coffee shop. I'll speak my thoughts out loud so you can see the complete process and understand how detailed this practice needs to be.
Perfect. So David is imagining he's sitting at his favorite coffee shop, and a friendly person approaches his table. Notice how he's not just thinking about words, but he's creating the entire scene in his mind. He can smell the coffee, hear the background music, and see the person walking toward him with a warm smile.
The person says hello and asks if they can share the table because the coffee shop is busy. In my mind, I respond with genuine enthusiasm and natural flow. Of course, please sit down. I love meeting new people here. This place has such a great atmosphere, doesn't it? I'm David, by the way. What brings you to this neighborhood today?
See how David didn't just give a simple yes or no answer? He added personality, asked questions, and kept the conversation flowing naturally. Now the imaginary person introduces themselves and mentions they're new in town. David continues the mental conversation with curiosity and helpfulness, showing genuine interest in their story.
That's so exciting! Moving to a new city is always an adventure. I've lived here for about 5 years now, and I absolutely love it. There are so many hidden gems around here. Are you looking for recommendations for restaurants, parks, or maybe some fun weekend activities? I'd be happy to share my favorite spots with you.
Notice how David is practicing being helpful and engaging, not just answering questions. He's offering value and showing the kind of personality that makes conversations memorable. The imaginary person asks about local restaurants, and David responds with specific details and personal experiences rather than generic suggestions.
Oh, you're going to love the food scene here. There's this amazing little place called Sunrise Bistro, just 2 blocks away. They make the most incredible pancakes I've ever tasted. And their coffee is even better than this place. I actually discovered it by accident when I got lost during my first week here. Sometimes the best finds happen by chance, right?
This is exactly what makes mental English rehearsal so powerful. David isn't just practicing vocabulary or sentence structures. He's practicing being himself, sharing stories, creating connections, and responding to social cues. He's building the confidence to be authentic and engaging in real conversations with real people.
The conversation continues as the person asks about weekend activities, and I share my love for hiking trails and local farmers markets. I'm not just listing activities. I'm painting pictures with my words, sharing why I enjoy these places, and inviting them to experience the joy I feel when I'm there. This is how real friendships begin.
What you just witnessed is a complete mental English rehearsal session. David created a realistic scenario, played both roles naturally, added sensory details, showed genuine emotion, and practiced the kind of authentic communication that builds real connections. This is exactly what your brain needs to become fluent and confident in any situation.
The benefits of mental English rehearsal go far beyond just speaking practice. First, and most importantly, you're building rock-solid confidence in a completely safe environment where mistakes don't matter and judgment doesn't exist. Every mental conversation is a success because you control the outcome. And this positive reinforcement trains your brain to expect success in real situations.
Second, You're training your brain to think directly in English instead of translating from your native language. This eliminates that awkward pause when you're searching for words during real conversations. Your thoughts start flowing in English naturally because you've practiced this mental process hundreds of times in your imaginary conversations.
Third, you can practice specific situations before they happen, which removes anxiety and uncertainty from real interactions. Got a job interview next week? Rehearse it mentally every day. Need to make a complaint at a store? Practice different approaches in your mind first. This preparation makes real situations feel familiar and completely manageable.
Fourth, this method dramatically improves your listening skills because you're constantly imagining different voices, accents, speaking speeds, and communication styles in your mental conversations. Your brain becomes incredibly flexible and adaptable to various English speakers, making real conversations much easier to follow and participate in with confidence.
Fifth, mental English rehearsal helps you develop your unique voice and personality in English. Instead of just copying phrases from textbooks, you're practicing being yourself, sharing your thoughts, telling your stories, and expressing your emotions. This authenticity makes you much more interesting and memorable in real conversations with real people.
Sixth, you can practice handling difficult or uncomfortable situations without any real consequences. Disagreements, complaints, emotional conversations, or complex explanations become much easier when you've rehearsed similar scenarios mentally. You develop the emotional intelligence and communication skills needed for challenging interactions.
Seventh, this technique builds your vocabulary and expressions naturally through context rather than memorization. When you use words and phrases in realistic mental conversations, they become part of your active vocabulary much faster than traditional study methods. You remember them because they're connected to emotions and experiences, not just definitions.
Eighth, mental English rehearsal improves your pronunciation and rhythm without focusing on technical aspects. When you imagine yourself speaking confidently and clearly in your mental conversations, your brain creates a blueprint for how English should sound when you speak it. This mental practice transfers directly to your actual speaking voice.
Ninth, you develop better conversational instincts and social awareness through this practice. You learn when to ask questions, when to share stories, when to listen, and when to respond with empathy. These soft skills are just as important as language skills for successful communication, and mental rehearsal helps you master both simultaneously.
Finally, the most powerful benefit is that mental English rehearsal gives you complete control over your learning process. You can practice anytime, anywhere, for as long as you want, focusing on exactly the situations that matter most to you. This flexibility and personalization accelerates your progress faster than any traditional method could ever achieve.
Here's your complete step-by-step system for mental English rehearsal that will transform your speaking abilities. Step 1 is choosing a specific situation or topic for your practice session. Start with familiar scenarios like ordering coffee, asking for directions, discussing your hobbies, or introducing yourself at work. The key is picking something you might actually encounter in real life.
Step 2 is setting the scene in vivid detail using all your senses. If you're practicing a job interview, imagine the office layout, the interviewer's appearance, the smell of coffee in the room, the sound of keyboards in the background. The more realistic your mental environment becomes, the more effective your practice session will be for building real confidence.
Step 3 is starting the conversation and playing both roles with equal energy and attention. Be yourself, responding naturally with your personality and emotions, then smoothly switch to being the other person, asking questions or making comments. Keep this dialogue flowing for at least 10 to 15 minutes to build real conversational stamina and mental flexibility.
Step 4 is adding unexpected elements and challenges to test your adaptability. Maybe the person asks a question you didn't prepare for, or they use an expression you're not completely familiar with, or they disagree with your opinion. Practice staying confident, thinking quickly, and maintaining the conversation flow even when you're surprised or challenged.
Step 5 is incorporating different emotions and energy levels throughout your mental conversation. Practice being enthusiastic about topics you love, concerned when discussing problems, excited when sharing good news, or empathetic when someone shares difficulties. These emotional variations make your English sound natural and help you connect with people on a deeper level.
Step 6 is focusing on your body language and voice tone, even though this is mental practice. Imagine yourself sitting or standing confidently, making eye contact, using hand gestures naturally, and speaking with appropriate volume and pace. This mental rehearsal of physical communication transfers directly to your real-world interactions and overall presence.
Step 7 is practicing different conversation outcomes and learning to handle various responses gracefully. Sometimes conversations flow perfectly, sometimes they're awkward, sometimes people are friendly, and sometimes they're not interested. Mental rehearsal prepares you for all possibilities so you never feel caught off guard or overwhelmed by different reactions.
Step 8 is ending each session by having a positive conclusion to your imaginary conversation. Practice saying goodbye naturally, exchanging contact information if appropriate, or making future plans. This trains your brain to expect positive outcomes and builds the confidence you need to initiate and maintain real conversations with optimism and success.
Step 9 is immediately reflecting on what went well and what you'd like to improve during your next practice session. This self-awareness helps you identify patterns in your communication style, recognize areas for growth, and celebrate your progress. Keep a mental note of phrases or situations that felt particularly natural or challenging.
10 is gradually increasing the complexity and length of your mental conversations as your comfort level grows. Start with 5-minute scenarios and work up to 20 or 30-minute sessions. Challenge yourself with professional situations, emotional discussions, group conversations, or debates about topics you care about. This progression ensures continuous improvement and expanding capabilities.
The biggest mistake people make with mental English rehearsal is keeping their imaginary conversations too simple or too short. If you only practice basic exchanges like hello and goodbye, you won't develop the skills needed for complex, real-world discussions. Challenge yourself with detailed conversations that include explanations, stories, opinions, and emotional responses.
Another common error is always playing it safe in your mental conversations and avoiding any potential conflict or difficulty. Real life isn't always polite and predictable, so your practice shouldn't be either. Include disagreements, complaints, awkward moments, and challenging questions in your rehearsals to build confidence for every possible situation.
Many learners forget to include emotions and personality in their mental speaking practice. Don't just focus on getting the words technically correct. Practice being enthusiastic, concerned, excited, frustrated, curious, or whatever emotion fits the situation naturally. This emotional authenticity makes your English sound engaging and helps you connect with people on a human level.
A huge mistake is practicing the same scenarios over and over without expanding into new territory. Variety is absolutely crucial for building flexible speaking skills that work in any situation. Mix professional conversations with casual chats. serious topics with lighthearted discussions, and formal language with everyday expressions to become truly versatile.
Some people make their mental conversations too perfect and unrealistic. Real conversations include interruptions, misunderstandings, forgotten words, and moments where you need to clarify or repeat something. Practice handling these normal imperfections gracefully rather than expecting every interaction to flow like a scripted performance.
Another common mistake is rushing through mental conversations without giving them proper attention and detail. Quality matters much more than quantity in this practice. It's better to have one deeply immersive 15-minute mental conversation than 5 rushed 3-minute sessions that don't engage your brain fully or build real confidence.
Many learners neglect to practice listening and responding skills during their mental rehearsals. They focus only on what they want to say without imagining realistic responses from other people. Remember to create believable reactions, follow-up questions, and diverse communication styles from your imaginary conversation partners to develop complete conversational abilities.
Some people avoid practicing difficult or uncomfortable topics because they seem too challenging. This is a major mistake because real life includes sensitive conversations about money, relationships, health, work problems, and personal struggles. Mental rehearsal is the perfect safe space to develop the language and confidence for these important discussions.
A critical error is treating mental English rehearsal as a one-time activity instead of building it into a consistent daily practice. Like physical exercise, the benefits come from regular repetition over time. Sporadic practice won't create the neural pathways and automatic responses you need for fluent, confident speaking in real situations.
Finally, the most damaging mistake is judging yourself harshly during mental conversations or focusing on perceived failures. This practice should build confidence, not destroy it. Treat every mental rehearsal session as a success, simply because you're actively working to improve. Celebrate your effort and progress rather than demanding immediate perfection from yourself.
Here's your powerful 7-day mental English rehearsal challenge that will transform your speaking confidence completely. Each day, spend exactly 20 minutes doing focused mental practice with a different scenario. Day 1 is practicing a job interview where you discuss your strengths, experience, and career goals with genuine enthusiasm and professional confidence.
Day 2 focuses on making a complaint at a store or restaurant where something went wrong with your purchase or service. Practice staying calm but firm, explaining the problem clearly, and working toward a fair solution. This builds your ability to handle difficult situations while maintaining respect and achieving positive outcomes for everyone involved.
Day 3 is all about explaining your favorite movie, book, or hobby to someone who's never heard of it before. Practice describing why you love it, what makes it special, sharing specific examples, and convincing them to try it themselves. This develops your ability to share passion and enthusiasm while painting vivid pictures with your words.
Day 4 involves asking for help with technology problems, whether it's your computer, smartphone, or any device that's giving you trouble. Practice describing symptoms clearly, asking specific questions, and following complex instructions. This scenario teaches you to communicate about technical topics without getting frustrated or overwhelmed by complexity.
Day 5 focuses on describing a memorable travel experience or adventure you've had, whether it's a recent vacation or a childhood trip that stayed with you. Practice sharing emotions, sensory details, funny moments, and lessons learned. This builds your storytelling abilities and helps you connect with people through shared experiences and universal emotions.
Day 6 is about discussing your future goals and dreams with someone who's genuinely interested in your success. Practice explaining your ambitions, the steps you're taking to achieve them, challenges you might face, and why these goals matter to you personally. This develops your ability to inspire others and articulate your vision clearly.
Day 7 involves having a friendly debate about a topic you care deeply about, whether it's environmental protection, social issues, sports, entertainment, or personal values. Practice presenting your viewpoint respectfully, listening to opposing arguments, finding common ground, and maintaining friendship despite disagreement. This builds advanced conversational skills for complex discussions.
Here's the extra challenge that will accelerate your progress dramatically. After each mental practice session, record yourself speaking for 3 minutes about the same topic without any preparation or script. Don't worry about making mistakes or sounding perfect. Just let your thoughts flow naturally and authentically from your heart and mind.
At the end of the week, listen to all 7 recordings in order and notice how your fluency, confidence, natural expression, and comfort level improve day by day. This combination of detailed mental practice plus spontaneous real speaking creates incredibly powerful results that will amaze you with your own rapid progress and development.
Share your experience with this challenge by commenting below about which day was most helpful, what surprised you about your progress, or which scenarios you want to practice more. Your success story might inspire other learners to start their own mental English rehearsal journey and discover the confidence they never knew they had inside them.
Mental English Rehearsal is your secret weapon for developing advanced speaking skills without needing conversation partners or expensive classes. By creating detailed mental conversations, you train your brain to think in English naturally and build the confidence you need for any real situation.
Remember, fluency isn't about perfect pronunciation or complex vocabulary. It's about expressing your thoughts and ideas with confidence and authenticity. This mental training method builds exactly those skills in a natural, stress-free way that works for everyone.
The 7-day challenge we shared gives you a complete roadmap to transform your speaking abilities. Practice different scenarios daily, record yourself speaking, and watch your confidence grow with each session. Consistency is the key to unlocking your English speaking potential.
If you made it this far, it's because you're truly serious about improving your English fluency. Show us your commitment by hitting that subscribe button and giving this episode a thumbs up. Your support helps us create more content that actually works in the real world.
Comment below with the word rehearsal if this episode gave you a new perspective on practicing English speaking skills.
Don't forget to share this episode with anyone who's struggling with English confidence. We're here to support your language journey with practical methods that deliver real results. Until next time, keep rehearsing and keep believing in yourself.